Every Easter we receive a special offering and we give 100% of it away. This year our project is just outside of Managua, Nicaragua, and it's a ministry called Children. And I sat down with the national director, Guillermo Morales, to talk about the ministry. I've been to different places in Central America. This is my first time to Nicaragua.
Okay.
One of the parts of the ministry is you build houses, and you do that through the churches that you plant.
The church really becomes the lighthouse in the community,
Yeah.
and everything is channeled by the church. So the houses that we build are built through the church.
Throughout history, water is symbolic for danger, but it's also necessary for life.
You know, for so many, water is terrifying. 6 months out of the year, it is rainy season, and if you don't have a strong home, it could also mean death. But water also brings life. It reminds me of the story of a man in our newest church communities, Fausto.
I grew up in a rural community, and like many children, I attended a rural school. That is where I met the woman who would become the mother of my children. Like many kids my age, I feel deeply in love with her. One of the things I found most attractive was her devotion to Jesus and the faith that guided her life. I deeply longed to know God and create the perfect life for our future family. However, faith in Jesus does not mean life will be easy. Without an alternative way to survive, I found stability by joining a gang and embracing that lifestyle. Drugs, violence, alcohol, and burglary. My life was dangerous, uncertain. While preparing for a gang-related assignment to murder a rival gang member, I was walking down the road and out of nowhere was hit by a passing car. My leg was completely crushed. Left on the side of the road, I begged God to help me. A stranger picked me up and drove me to the hospital, where they told me that my leg would need to be amputated. With only one leg, my ability to work and provide for my family would be almost impossible. Left with no other option, I planned to take my own life. Just as I made peace with this plan, the doctors discovered very specific materials to reconstruct my leg. After 2 days, I left the hospital with the intention of starting a new life. My wife cared for me for 8 months of recovery, all the while talking more and more about what walking with Jesus really looks like. I started to know God's place in my life and began to work and care for my children. When my wife was pregnant with our 4th child, she got very sick unexpectedly, and within 24 hours, passed away. And this is when I started regularly showing up to church. As a single father, heartbroken, unable to leave my children home to make a living, huddling together with them throughout the rainy season in the one corner of our plastic shed that didn't drip water through the night. A single father who had no choice but to take a step and carry my faith myself. Because for me, there was nothing left to cling to other than the hope that God could provide. And God did provide. Our church shared our story with Children Ministries, who were able to build us a safe and sturdy home. And a new day began. I have grown to be a passionate and regular member of our church community in Carlos Fonseca. I have the opportunity to find work with a safe place for my children and a place to provide the support they need to end the cycle of poverty for my family. There are many uncertainties left in our lives, but what we know for certain is that water brings new life. My next step is to be baptized, to show that growth is possible even in the least likely places. My story is not finished. My past does not define my future. Like in all of our lives, faith is a daily journey that helps us experience God's heart for the lost. The future church in Nicaragua is led by people like me.